Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss Wildcard Weekend continues. I got Giants Vikings here, a rematch of a game we saw just a few weeks ago. This should be an awesome one. Let's go.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
All right, G-Men on the road in Minnesota again. We just saw this. Line is Vikings -3. Early public slightly leaning the Giants, but the Sharps are all over the Giants. 95% of the money on the G-Men. This is as of Tuesday morning. Really not much has changed throughout the week. Here we are on Saturday evening. We're still looking at Vikings -3. Public is pretty even, still slightly leaning Giants, maybe a little bit. Sharp money still all over the Giants. Here's the thing though, the odds for Giants +3 on most books is at -115. Some books have it at -20, which means this line could potentially move to 2.5 before kickoff. So if you like the Giants, I'd bet it now. So let's cap this game. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know the first step. We're running the numbers through the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Minnesota -0.61. So we're looking at about a 2.5 point lean on the New York Football Giants. So let's break this matchup down. And I want to start with the second half of the season for the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, since week 10, they may be 6-3, but I'm seriously concerned with what I'm seeing from this team. Ready for this? Since week 10, so we're talking about the second half of the season, in that span, the Vikings are ranked 30th in the NFL in overall DVOA. 30th. 25th on offense, 29th on defense. This is a playoff team. That's absolutely awful. During that span, opponents are averaging 29.4 points per game against the Vikings. Holy shit. The only team they played that they held to less than 22 points was the Chicago Bears with Nathan Peterman at quarterback. Now you might say, yo, Kyle, well, at least their run defense has been pretty good so they can slow down Saquon Barkley. Has it though? Let's take a look at those numbers. Since week 13, the Vikings run defense is ranked just 26th in the NFL, and in that span, they allowed Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, and Zonovan Bam Knight all to average 6+ yards per carry against them. This is concerning because you want to know what the Giants offense is rated in that very same span? 7th in the NFL. And this is a Giants offense that already went into Minnesota just a few weeks ago and put up their season high 445 yards of total offense. Question, how did the Giants put up 445 yards of offense going just 3 for 11 on third downs? Answer, big plays. The Giants had 8 plays of 17+ yards in that game. So how does Minnesota combat these big plays that the Giants offense is ripping off? Well, actually, the Vikings have completely switched up their defensive scheme. In weeks 1 through 14, the Vikings were 30th in the NFL in man coverage frequency. This was strictly a zone defense. But since week 15, the Vikings are actually 8th in the NFL in man coverage frequency. So we're looking at a team that has completely switched from zone coverage to man coverage. And how has it worked out for them? Well, they let up 36 points to the Colts, 24 to the Giants, and 41 points to the Packers. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not working, Vikes. And man coverage is exactly what Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones, and the Giants offense wants to see. Their top 2 receivers, Darius Slayton and Richie James, both of their production, if against zone coverage to man coverage, they both see a 28+% increase in production against man rather than zone. The Giants would love to see the Vikings come out and run a lot of man coverage in this game. With the creativity that Daboll's implemented into this Giants offense and the lack of creativity we've seen from the Vikings defense, I don't think there's any reason to believe that the Vikings are going to make many stops in this game. I think the Giants pour on the yards again and put a bigger number up on the board. Now, what about on the other side of the ball? We were just bashing the Vikings defense. What about the Giants defense? And they're no bell of the ball either. They're actually, since week 10, they're actually 31st in DVOA on defense, so even worse than the Vikings is. So how on earth are they going to stop all these Viking weapons? Well, I have some good news for Giants fans. The trio of Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson, all returning to the lineup. And this is cool because this is the first time those 3 defensive players for the Giants have played together all season. Now, we all know that Wink Martindale loves to blitz, right? The Giants blitz on 39.7% of their defensive snaps. That's the most in the NFL by far. No one blitzes more than the Giants. And in their first game against Cousins, they blitzed him on 51.9% of his dropbacks. Here's the thing, it didn't work. Kirk Cousins in the first game against the Giants, when blitzed, was 15 of 24, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins was ripping the Giants to shreds when they blitzed him. And actually, that lines up with what we've seen from Kirk Cousins all season. Did you know that Kirk Cousins is top 5 in the NFL under pressure in yards? yards per attempt, and passing touchdowns, Kirk Cousins has been great when pressured. But what about when you only rush 4 against Kirk Cousins? And that's where the numbers just get weird. His yards per attempt in the first Giants game dropped from 7.1 down to 5.3 when throwing from a clean pocket. And check this out, I just mentioned that Kirk Cousins is top 5 in the NFL in most passing categories when pressured, right? Look at Kirk Cousins when throwing from a clean pocket. 34th amongst 40 qualified quarterbacks in yards per attempt, 27th in passer rating, and tied for the league lead in interceptions from a clean pocket. So to reiterate what I just said, Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback when pressured and a bottom 5 quarterback when given a clean pocket. I'm thinking we're going to see the Giants dial it back as far as blitzing, maybe hold it back a little bit. It's the first time they have their healthy 4 defensive linemen on the field at the same time all season. They're just going to rush 4, press Justin Jefferson on the line to give him plenty of help over top. This Minnesota offense might really struggle. And to add even more fuel to the fire here, the Vikings are going to be without their starting right tackle, Brian O'Neill. He got hurt 2 weeks ago in the Packer game. He's top 10 in the NFL in pass block rating amongst tackles. This is one of the best pass blocking tackles in the NFL. He's out. So you guessed it, I'm on the G-men here. Got to take it at a full 3. And I actually already bet this. I bet this right before I recorded this because I'm scared of the line movement. If you like the Giants, I'd bet it now before it moves to 2.5. I'm taking New York +3. Let's go G-men. If anything changes with that bet, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets that we put out as a staff, bet of the day, top bets, we do it for all sports, just head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. Wildcard weekend is here. Let's have ourselves a good one. Remember to bet responsibly, and I will talk to you on Twitter.